How does one get better at tracking? I mean, I know roughly, I know the basics, and obviously this is mainly focusing on keyboard and mouse because that's my input. I mean, control players know how to change the ADS sensitivity. This is strictly, this isn't X and Y. If you want my advice on X and Y sensitivity, just personally, I'd say start somewhere. If it feels too high, you feel like you're missing a lot of shots, then just fucking bring it down and then test it again. If you feel like you're hitting a lot of shots but feel like you can play on a lower sensitivity to hit more shots, and just go with that sort of technique, because lower sense is better, especially if this is a SMG season. The meta is the SMG, because the lower the sense, the more shots you're going to hit, the easier it's going to be to track without ADSing. But this video is mainly focused on targeting. If you want me to do a video on X and Y sense and how to get better with like shotgun aim and how to find your perfect sensitivity, X and Y sensitivity, then I can do one of those as well. But this one, as you can tell by the thumbnail, this one's focusing on ADS, because we have got a red dot sight weapon, the first ever first person weapon POV to ever be introduced into Fortnite, we call it, this season, and people are going to be using that a lot. This is probably the best AR they've ever added to the game. So I'm going to give you a map code. I'm going to load it up just now so you can see it, and I'm gonna give you some tips on how to find your ideal targeting sensitivity. Okay, so you want to go over to a matchmaking portal after loading creative, one of the little fucking creative island portals, and put in this map code. I'll leave it on screen, but I'll read it out as well. It is 802268424965. Put that in, wait for it to load, and it's loaded. Walk in. Oh wow, loads of lag, love that. Okay, now if you see by my weapons, I don't know if you're gonna be able to like spawn in with these, but if you don't spawn in with weapons, and there's weapons over this side, honestly, you don't need really any of these weapons. You just need the AR, because that's what we're talking about, the ADS, which is when you aim down sight to shoot your gun. Some people do this for shotguns. Honestly, I don't recommend it. I just say keep your X and Y sensitivity low, so that when you flick, it's not going to be, I mean, mine's still somewhat high. This is my sensitivity just now, and this could change. I've got 13.5 X and Y. It was 12. I decided to up it a little bit, just so it makes like getting out of boxes faster a lot easier. Because there's sometimes I'm caught in a situation where someone's jumped into my box and I'm trying to edit the fucking wall next to me, and I just look like a dumbass because my face is in the wall and I can't edit, and they're just spraying me. My targeting sensitivity, which this is the one we're focusing on, and now obviously this is going to be elsewhere. This is going to be in the controller settings for people who use controller. That'll be ADS, this one. Obviously, maybe if you feel like you need to use advanced options, then use advanced options. But if you want to keep it simple, turn advanced options off so that you get to use the ADS sensitivity, and it takes you 1 through 10. Obviously, if you want to be more specific, then use the advanced options. But obviously, controller players are going to need to adjust this, ideally to their satisfaction. But this mainly is what, obviously, this is mainly targeted at mouse and keyboard, just because that's my input. My targeting sensitivity is 47. Now, some people would say that's pretty fucking high, whereas given the mouse space that I've got right now, because my keyboard is sort of just quite big, it's a 100% keyboard, I've not got a small keyboard. Given the mouse space that I've got, it feels like a good sense to use right now. And there's one way to really test if your ADS sensitivity is good or not, and that'll be after you pick up the red dot sight AR, or whatever your favorite AR is. Personally, I suggest using the red dot sight because it'll make this task easier. You want to go into the horizontal tracking and click free play. Now this little guy is going to spawn, and basically this is where you're going to basically track. This is going to be your sort of practice. I just kept it on default and I clicked free play, but I think you can adjust how far back you are from this motherfucker. But just note that I'd keep it at around a medium distance just in case, because if you can get closer than this, so you can get a bit further forward, your tracking sensitivity is going to feel a lot slower when trying to keep up with them. Just because you're closer to them. It's like if you're further away and you could spawn a little bit further back so that, you know, you can still see him but not as close as this. Your tracking sensitivity may feel faster just because you're further away and he's smaller and it's like easier to keep up with him. So I'd say, like, because of that, keep it at a medium distance and then try and adjust. But even if you manage to, you know, track and perfectly hit a lot of shots at medium distance, it still doesn't mean that hitting them from close range when you're a lot closer, trying to track with them is going to be any easier, because it's still going to feel somewhat slow, and because obviously being closer to them. But the main objective is that, pretty much. I didn't get to kill him. I did now. But pretty much is keeping the red dot sight, following him at all times. Even if you just try when you're not shooting. As long as you can keep up with him. Given the mouse space that you've got. Because if you can't keep up with him, say you're trailing behind him and your mouse sensitivity is just not. So you just physically, like, you're moving your mouse, it's on the edge of the desk, it's uncomfortable to work with. Then this is how you know you're supposed to put your ADS sensitivity up. So mine, if I couldn't keep up with him on 46%, I'd maybe put it up a little bit more and see if I can keep up with him. If I then feel like I'm going too far ahead of him and not being able to hit the shots, then I would feel as if I need to put it down a bit more, but higher than the 46 that I started with, because we already knew that 46 was too slow and couldn't keep up. Say it was on 50, it means your ideal sensitivity, if 50 is ahead of him and 46 is behind him, your ideal sensitivity is somewhere in the middle, which then you're going to need to sort of mess with. But I mean, ideally aim for the head as well. Now this is obviously gonna struggle a bit. It's gonna be a bit of a struggle. It's gonna take some practice, and it might get a little bit annoying. But practice makes perfect. The trial and error method, that's how you know, like, 46, oh, I'm not keeping up with him. 50, I'm too far ahead of him. So somewhere between 46% and 50% for me, for example, would be off right there. And you'll know because obviously you'll be hitting a lot of shots. Bear in mind, a player's maximum health can be 200. So if this was the case, that player would already be dead if he was like running this way. Now obviously this is different. This is just horizontal. You can obviously choose the vertical tracking or other maps with other scenarios, but this one's probably been the easiest. But this is really ideal if someone's like coming towards you, like they're gliding in the air, for example, trying to get the zone, trying to get ahead of you. If you can beam them enough, they're going to leave you alone. Or if you can just kill them, that's an extra 50 health, 50 shield in arena, for example, that you're going to need. Tracking is important just as much as X and Y. Now, if you want to see me do some sort of tips and tricks on X and Y sense and how to kind of perfect it and what the ideal method is to find your perfect X and Y sense, because everybody wants to, you know, have the perfect sensitivity when it comes to hitting shotgun shots and being able to edit and piece control and all that stuff, then I can also do that, but I need to know if you would want that as a video. I do have a few clips, I think, of my sensitivity right now. So my sensitivity right now, obviously this is going to be different for you depending on your setup. I do have some clips of the sensitivity. So 47 is my ideal sensitivity right now. I'll leave some clips at the end of this video. But my main advice is to just practice, because without practice you're not going to get better. And yeah, that is how you practice. That is how you find your perfect ADS sensitivity and how you master tracking. I hope you enjoyed. Please do leave a like.
It's slow circle, remember? No, it's not, never mind. There's a guy right in front of me. Went in.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. He's there.
White, blue.
22. Cracked him, he's white.